It's week 7 of the On-Campus Report here for WHBC Sports. I am Noah Hiles, and joining me today is Lake alumni and current Ashland middle linebacker Clay Shreve. Clay, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Noah.
All right, so let's just get right into it, Clay. Senior, captain, middle linebacker. You're a captain, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Senior captain, middle linebacker for the Eagles. You guys are 3-2 this season, looking to climb back in the playoffs after missing them last year. What is your overall impression so far on the season for Ashland?
Yeah, I think, we kind of control our own destiny here. We're really excited for where we're at right now. We had a huge win over Grand Valley last weekend. That was put us where we need to be. And we played two, top 10 football teams. We actually played 3 top 10 football teams in the first 5 games. One of them was a victory over Grand Valley. Ferris State is number 2 in the country. And then University of Indianapolis, which is a real good team that's just putting points on everyone. So we ended up losing to those first 2 teams, Indianapolis and Ferris, but had a big win against Ferris. And kind of, our motto going into the season is, win them all, do the best we can, obviously. But we knew that if we could maybe get one of the 3 or 2 of the 3, we'd be in great position. So we got one of the 3, and we're where we need to be at the moment, so we're just going to try to keep getting better and go on from there.
And you kind of undersold getting that one win against one of those top 10 teams. You got that win last week against Grand Valley on a Hail Mary. I think I read last year they beat you guys, if I'm not mistaken, inside like the last 30 seconds of the game. You got the revenge this year. Final play of the game, I think it was 52 yards, Hail Mary to pull off the upset. What was that victory like for you?
Yeah, it's something I'll never forget. It's one of those moments that, everyone talks about. You have football moments that 50 years from now you and your buddies will talk about. That's one of them for sure. You hinted at it. It even goes back even one more year. My sophomore year, we beat them at Jack Miller Stadium on a game-winning field goal. They beat us last year at their place on a game-winning field goal, and this year we beat them on a Hail Mary. The range of emotions were through the roof there, especially because, we score late to go ahead, and then, we get on defense to shut them down, and they end up making 2 great throws at the end to keep them alive, get the score. So we're a little bit down, like, man, we just lost the game, and then we come back and, I throw a Hail Mary to win the game. So, it was, absolutely just full of emotions and just a great experience, absolutely.
You've been a part of a lot of exciting things in your 4 years at Ashland. I see you're a 4-year letter winner. Assuming you make the All-GLIAC team this year, that'll be your 3rd straight appearance on that, along with some regional honors, possibly All-American honors, and everything. What would you say has been your overall favorite experience in college football?
As far as the football aspect, I don't know if a win can top the one we had Saturday, but prior to that, we had a playoff win, our first one at Jack Miller Stadium against Northwest Missouri State, which was defending 2-time national champion my sophomore year. That was a great win. That was real fun to be a part of. Winning the GLIAC championship that year, my sophomore year as well, was great. We had a real big win against Ferris State that year, who was 2 in the country. They came into our place, and we beat them 20-3. That was another great win. So, bunch of good moments throughout it, but some of the things that just a lot of people talk about that I'll hit on as well is that just having the camaraderie with the teammates, playing the game of football. I truly do love the game, and I just enjoy being able to play it every day.
You were a part of a defense last year that was one of the best in all of Division II football. I'm looking here, 3rd against the pass in the nation, 8th in scoring, and 4th overall ranked. Talk about what it was like to be not only a contributor, but a main contributor to such a dominant unit.
Yeah, it's just a blessing. In all honesty, it's just a blessing. I've been, given abilities from, the great Lord above. I tell everybody that, I'm not the fastest guy around. I'm not the strongest guy around. I've been blessed with the ability to be like a good football player. I understand the game, and, I work hard at it. I'm passionate about it, and I've been good at the game of football. So it's just an absolute blessing. I've been able to be successful in it, and last year was no different. We had a great defense. Our coaches are phenomenal. We have one of the best Division II defensive coordinators probably the best in the country. I'll even tell you he is the best in the country because he's been a head coach at multiple Division I schools. He loves the game of football. He's just old school as it gets, and he gets us ready. He has a slogan every year that we go with: "It's best in America, BIA," and that's our goal every year, to be the best defense in America. And we're getting close to that.
Looking through your individual numbers last year and your accolades, like I said, first team All GLIAC. You received All Regional honors, second team All Super Region 3. You were a part of the GLIAC All Academic Excellence team with your GPA, and you led your team in tackles and a couple other statistical categories. After a year like that, where you had so much success on the field and off the field, how do you pace yourself, prepare yourself to try to be better than that for your senior season?
Yeah, I don't think it changes a whole lot. I mean, I think every year you go on and try to get better to build off of the previous year you had. So, off-season workouts, worked out real hard in the winter. I had a good spring ball. One thing that kind of set me back a little bit is I had a knee injury in the spring game actually. So that put me a little bit behind in the summer. So I don't think I went into fall camp maybe as ready as I'd like to be, in as good a shape, that kind of thing, just because I wasn't able to run as much as I would have liked to. But, now that we're, week 6 in the season, I think, I'm pretty healthy, but also just, balancing the fact that I am a 4-year college football player, and there's bumps and bruises all over the place. So there's that. So just, balancing the health aspect with knowing that because I was so successful last year, I'll be circled on people's game plans, and I've felt that a little bit in these games that I've played already. Some of their schemes are to get me outside the box, get me away from the ball a little bit, which is frustrating because I love to make plays and I love to be involved. But it's the same as anything, though. You just prepare and do the best that you can, and our coaches get us in a great position to win. So as long as we're winning, as long as we're playing well on defenses, the personal accolades aren't that big of a deal for me.
Well, it's unfortunate that you said that last sentence, because my next question is about a personal accolade. I see on your profile, or under your profile page on the roster, you're the program's nominee for the 2019 American Football Coaches Association Good Works Team. Do you know anything about what that is and what that means?
Yeah, the AFC's Good Works Team is a team, a collection of players that from all divisions, from FBS all the way down to Division III, and each school was allowed to nominate one player, and they stand for success on the field, success academically, and then primary focus on community service in the community. And I was fortunate, blessed enough to be nominated for that. They went ahead and it goes through like a selection process. They nominate a bunch of people, and then they narrow it down. They create the actual team, and it's 30 people. And there's more of the people are on the SBS level. Then there's 10 to 15 or something combined between D2 and D3 and SCS. So I unfortunately did not make the cut of the final team, but being blessed enough to just even be considered for it was a real blessing for sure. And
going more into detail about your all-around success, I guess, at the college level, both on and off the field, can you tell us a little bit more about your academic life as a student? I see you have a cumulative grade point average above 3.5, which is a Dean's List average. You've been a part of the GLIAC All-Academic team multiple times. What's your major? What are you studying? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm a middle grade education major with concentrations in mathematics and social studies. So basically, I'd like to be a middle school teacher at some point. So yeah, I've been successful in the classroom. I've always had good grades. I've been blessed with intellect and a work ethic that allows me to excel in the classroom. And but yeah, so I'm in my last academic semester, so I have my last classes this semester, and then next semester I'll do student teaching. So I'll student teach in middle school building, teaching both math and social studies. So at that point, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Once the season's over, I'll be full teaching mode, and after that, hopefully look for a job. Teaching, coach. I really have a passion for coaching. I love the game of football, so I'd like to do that. That's kind of the next phase at the moment.
I gotta give you props. I mean, middle school teachers, in my opinion, are nuts. I think middle school kids can probably be the meanest humans, even more than any offensive lineman you face. So you really have no fear, Clay. That's that's impressive. So you talked about what your plans are for after football ends. Do you have any aspirations to try to get a pro career going?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream that I've always had as a kid. I think almost any kid grows up that plays any sport, they want to play at the highest level. It's something that if the opportunity presents itself, I will. I mean, I've been contacted a little bit. My coaches have told me that there might be an opportunity. I've had, an agent or two reach out to me, a couple strength and conditioning coaches that do draft preparation and stuff reach out to me. So I've been, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I've been very blessed with these things. So if there's a real opportunity, I'll go for it. I'm not real interested in playing, arena football or anything like that. But if there was, an NFL thing, which is obviously a long shot, but if there's an NFL thing, maybe a CFL or XFL or something, that's real football. And I don't want to say arena football is not real football, but a real professional football, I'll go for it. And I'll definitely work towards that because it's been a goal of mine. I feel like I'd regret it if I didn't. But I'm also very excited to be a teacher. I'm very excited to see football behind the coaching lens and do that part of my life as well. So if it's not the right opportunity, if it's not the right fit, I don't think my body can do it because, as mentioned earlier, I played college football for 4 years, had a couple injuries, and I definitely wake up every morning with a little bit of a sore body. But if it's there, I'll go for it for sure.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could honestly say they'd pass up the chance to have like Vince McMahon as their boss too, with the XFL getting started. So that would be cool.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you. You've mentioned a couple times now that you're very interested in pursuing a career in coaching later on in life. Who are some of your inspirations or mentors that have made you want to become a coach?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, my dad was a coach, so I grew up as a coach's kid. My dad was a late coach for, I couldn't tell how many years, but all throughout my childhood. So I was around the program a lot. I, went to the two-a-days and just hung around the sidelines, played with, messed around with, my brothers on the sidelines, stuff like that. So there's that. Had a youth football coach that was so, I always give him shout-outs when people ask me this kind of stuff. His name was Steve Dragala, and he was incredible. He worked us so hard. We did push-ups every day. We ran a bunch. We hit every day. I really credit him for making me the tough football player that I've become now. So he's been huge for me. And then at the high school level, the now Lake defensive coordinator Frank Pilata, he was my linebacker coach, and I think he was defensive coordinator, my senior year. I think he was co-defensive coordinator my junior year. But linebacker coach all throughout my career there, and he was just a great coach. He really pushed me to be the best linebacker I could be. He really taught me a lot of skills that I still use today. So he's been great. So probably those three. I mean, obviously Coach George is a great head coach, and he's really helped me be better football as well. He helped me learn some of the leadership skills that I've been able to incorporate into my leadership role here as well. So
let's talk about the Blue Streaks a little bit. Is that all right with you?
Absolutely.
All right, so they got a big game against Hoover. They've had a pretty strong season. They're coming off of back-to-back losses. What are your thoughts so far just on Lake's season? I'm sure you've seen the highlights of Mr. Owens's fantastic runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I follow him. I have my dad still goes to all the games. I have a stepbrother, Avery Keith, who plays on the team still. So I talked to him a little bit about how the season's going, some of the things that he looks for, needs help with or whatever. I try to help him as much as I can. Plays linebacker there. But I think they're doing well. I mean, they needed, as a former Lake player, I understood that our non-conference games are so important because we are the smallest team in the Federal League. We play such a difficult league schedule that we got to win these non-conference games. And they took care of business in that aspect, beating the four teams they did. I actually played up at Ashland, so I got to watch that game, which was fun. So they took care of business there. The league's always tough. I saw that they had a nail-biter against McKinley, went for it on 2 and wasn't able to get it. But I think they're doing well. I think they have the pieces. They have a good running game, which is what we're known for. Their defense is playing well for the most part. And I know Coach Pilato will always get them ready to go. So I think, they got to win a couple more here and get themselves in the playoffs.
What's it been like as an alumni to watch them kind of crawl back after, I think, a couple years ago they didn't do too hot, only won a couple games, and then last year they just missed the playoffs, and this year they're fighting for a playoff spot. What's it been like to see the resurgence in the last couple of seasons?
It's been great. I mean, coaching's never a question of mine. They have a great coaching staff, and they only keep making it better each year. I mean, adding DeMarco, ex-Louisville head coach, is another great add for them. So, the coaching's never been a problem. I think we've had a little bit of down seasons as players, just the talent we've had. I know we've been struggling as far as offensive line size and skill, but this year it seems like they kind of got the guys in place that need to be there. Had a couple more people come out for the team and stuff like that. So it's good to see the program going back the way it should be. I mean, I grew up, like I said, my dad was a coach. He coached, in the early 2000s, all the way up into 2010. I think he even coached a year or two after that, I think. But I saw all these successful teams. 2004 team always sticks out in my mind. 2010 team sticks out in my mind, where they made deep runs in the playoffs. And to see that, starting with my senior year, we were able to get back there. The year after me, they got back there. Then we've had 2 or 3 down years. So hopefully this year they can kind of start that tradition back up and just get back in the postseason, which is where Lake football belongs. We're a blue-collar team that needs to be playing in November.
Big game Friday night against Hoover. The Vikings lead the all-time series 16-15. I'm already assuming that you're going to say that the Blue Streaks are going to even that at 16 apiece. Give me a score prediction as my final question for you. Give me a score prediction for Friday night.
Okay. I should have done my homework more. You did good homework on me. I haven't done much homework on the Blue Streaks. But,
well, I mean, it's my job to research you. It's not your job to research me. So.
Yeah, definitely Blue Streak's going to win for sure. I think, let me see, defense is playing well. I'll go with a 24-17 win. Blue Streaks over North Canton Hoover Vikings. I'm going to even give you a little farther. Drake Owens is going to rush for 180 yards, at least 2 touchdowns.
So a bad day for him.
A bad day for him. Maybe. He was going to have a good game. The competition gets a little stiffer in the Federal League, so the days of 200 might be done for him, but I sure hope he pops off for 200, 300. That'd be great. But yeah, Blue Streaks going to win.
All right, Clay. Well, continue the good stuff at Ashland. Best of luck in your senior homecoming game this week against Davenport, and best of luck further. Get back to the playoffs and, get those Eagles roaring and make Stark County proud, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That was Clay Shreve, Ashland University linebacker and former Lake Blue Streak here on the On Campus Reports.